All right, let's do this. Hello, world. I'm back. I'm Jeremy Kahn. I'm here with another Farmhand Devlog update. Me and my good friend Luke Stebner are working on Farmhand Match, which is a match 3 style game in the style of a game series that we've been working on for a couple of years called Farmhand, where it's stock market simulator, stock market mechanics meets. I should probably turn that off. There we go. Do not disturb. It's stock market mechanics meets farming, and so it's that idea meets a match 3 style game. I've been working on it for a little over a week at this point. We're not super far. I will say that Luke has been working on the much more exciting parts of game development for this. He's actually doing the game development. I've been so the way that we're sort of handling this is like he's focused on the implementation of the game itself, and I'm more focused on kind of everything else. So that includes kind of just like, well, I came up with the general idea for the game to begin with, but I'm also driving the art direction that of which that there is any, as well as kind of operations, I guess you could say. So, like for instance, like you'll see some commits here from me. This is the project commit history in GitHub. It's private for now. Maybe we'll open source someday, but today it is private. And it's really boring stuff that's not specifically directed, not specifically related to game development, but things that will hopefully keep the project on the rails. Like boring technical stuff like having a linter, having a formatter, having tests. Like these are the things that any healthy software project needs to have. You know, Luke and I are both people who take great care in our work. We care about the craft of building software, and that extends to game development such as Farmhand Match here. But at the same time, we don't want to like spend too much time getting perfect and polished as far as technical implementation details. It kind of just needs to work. That being said, there's a lot of things that we can do up front. A lot of automated systems that we can get in place to sort of keep things on the rails. So like we're not, to lower the potential for bugs to be created. Let me see, bring the chat over here. Lowering the potential for bugs to be created, like, just avoiding issues that are, can be largely automated away. That's what unit tests are great for. That's what linting is great for. Type checkers. Stuff that you just want to have at the beginning of any software project to just avoid a bunch of avoidable work. But it's not been all technical setup and stuff. I've been doing a little bit with building out art, which I could show you here. So this is Godot. This is the game engine we're using. I haven't gotten super far with this, but basically, Luke is quite good with Godot. I am not. He did the vast majority of the last Godot project that we worked on in Farmhand Go, which came out a few years ago. It's on Steam if you want to buy it. I think it's $5 or something like that. It's a fun game, and it was built with Godot, and Luke drove most of that, and I honestly was a little bit intimidated by Godot. I was a little bit. There is a bit of a learning curve, at least if you have a preconceived notion of how things should work, which I do because, professionally speaking, I'm a web developer. So is Luke, but I think that he kind of took to Godot a little bit more smoothly than maybe I did at first. So I'm kind of playing catch up, and I'm kind of following his lead. And he's a great person to learn from. So I'm grateful that he's sharing his knowledge on how to use Godot, because I've always thought it was this really cool engine project. I love that it's open source. I love that it's free. I love that it's a community driven thing. But like it's going to take a while for me to really wrap my head around how this thing works, because I'm used to doing everything with code. Like my editor of choice is NeoVim, which is, let's say, esoteric. But the point is it's all very text driven, all command line oriented, which I think for most people would be a lot harder than a more UI driven approach like this. But if you do anything for long enough, it becomes your normal. So like the command line driven approach to software development is my normal. So a more UI driven approach like this is, I feel like, a bit of a fish out of water. So I'm gonna be making some unsurprising mistakes. So for instance, so here's what the idea with this. I'm working in a separate branch. The idea with this is that it's going to, this is like the play area. And like imagine a match 3 style thing in here, in this brown field area. This will be like the day's buffed crop. This will be the day's nerfed crop. And this will be the day's recipe. So to put that into context, let me show you where the GDD is. Okay. Oops. Gonna try and hide some of that. Very good. So this is what it's more or less based off of. Bring this down here. So this is the AI generated mock-up of how the game should look and feel. And we're going with custom art. We're not doing as I said in our last video, like I am all in on using AI to make game development faster. But one area that I'm going to stand pretty firm about not doing that with is the art, because I think it's the art that's really going to hopefully set this thing apart from other match 3 games, because there's like a billion of them. And it's not so much that I think that I'm a great artist. I don't. But the art style is what you as a developer, or I as a developer, whatever, like connects to the audience with. And that's something that I don't want to just hand off to an AI, because I feel like that natural connection is everything with a game. And like, it's not that AI art is bad, it's just samey. I mean, like, this is a great example. Like, this thing was generated by Google's Nano Banana model, and it's not bad. It's just generic, which is great for mock-up art. Like, I was able to generate in like under a minute. This would have taken me forever to do. I don't know that it would have taken forever to come up with a basic like proportional mock-up like this, but it would have taken a lot more time than if I just had an AI do it for me. So this gave me the basic structure of what I want to have, visually speaking. And I have since translated that to this. Honestly, I feel pretty good about this art style. Like, this is the sort of art that I want to play in a game, simple 8-bit style pixel art. And it's also the sort of art that I want to make, or at least it's the sort of art that I can make, because my art skills are pretty limited. I am sufficient at pixel art. I'm not a great pixel artist, but I think I can do a much better job creating pixel art than I can with making whatever style this would be. And perhaps this is what more people want. But you know what? Like I said, like, I would rather have the end result be, subjectively worse than and have it be art that I made myself with Pixelrana, which is this little pixel art program that I found here. It's also based on Godot, which is pretty cool. I've been using this so far. But I want to use, I think it's more important that the art style, the core concepts are as human, genuine as possible. The actual implementation details, I'm less invested in that for this project, because this is, at the moment, not an open source project. So I don't consider the code itself to be part of the thing that I'm publishing. That may change, but today, for now, the game is closed source. For as much as I love and believe in open source, and I've open sourced a lot of projects over the years, this one makes more sense to keep closed for now. All this is to say is that, like, it's okay if the code is not the best possible thing that I can produce, or we can produce, Luke and I, because again, like, Luke is driving more of the code, and I think that he is preferring to write it more by hand, because that is what, makes sense for how he likes to work. And the way we're sort of dividing and conquering this is that we're sort of we're kind of trusting each other to own different pillars of this. Like, he's trusting me to own the art, and I'm sure that he'll probably make his own art assets in time as necessary. And I'm trusting him to own the code, and I will probably, pitch in with the code here and there as necessary. Kind of like I had said last time, it's we don't have these little fiefdoms. We're a team of 2, but someone needs to own each part, just so we're not stepping on each other's toes. So this is where things are going so far. Again, I feel pretty good about this art style. Like, this is what I want to go for. It's very simple. It's something that I can make and make it look not ridiculous. So Luke and I are planning to get together on Discord probably tomorrow via video chat to sort of go over how to better lay this out, because, like I mentioned before, I'm a web developer. I don't have natural Godot instincts yet. But come at this like thinking like I'm thinking about this like a DOM tree, if you're familiar with that, if you're also a web developer. And unsurprisingly, I kind of got this hierarchy wrong of like, there's the top level field, it contains a background, a grid, toggle that on and off, and then just like, these UI elements on top. And I think that like if I was building a web page or web app or whatever, like this would be sort of a sensible structure. But according to Luke, that I probably didn't quite get this right as far as getting it to scale and look good on different mobile phone resolutions, which makes a lot of sense because it's not a web project, it's a Godot project, and I am very much a super duper duper junior developer when it comes to Godot. So yeah, he's gonna help get this straightened out. It's like my natural instinct is to have as few container elements in a tree as possible. Partially for complexity reasons, partially for performance, because that's just sort of the best practice for web development. But apparently Godot is not quite the same. I think the expected practice for this sort of thing is to have more nested containers. And I don't have a great handle on the different types of containers. I was looking into it, but it's gonna take me a while to sort of build these instincts around how to build things with best practices. We can take a quick look, though, at what Luke has been working on. Let me just pop over to his branch. This may break Godot. Let's try it again. Well, I'm just going to close this out for now. Don't save. That's fine. Okay. All right, and if we hit play, let's see where... There we go. Okay, so... This is what Luke has been working on. Let's see if we can make this larger. I think we can. There we go. I'm not sure if he pushed his latest changes to this, but so he's working in one branch where he's just working on the core functionality, and I'm working in a separate branch where I'm working on the UI, and then like we're going to merge and put that together. But this is going to be a match 3 game. That's the one. Like the basic idea of this game is like it's match 3 with additional mechanics. So step 1 is like first get the match 3 mechanics, which Luke has been working on. Once we get that locked and stable, then we'll kind of put this together with the art and then add on the new mechanics to sort of make a hopefully pretty engaging and unique experience. But hopefully we'll be able to get this merged in soon. It'd be great if we could get web builds out for previews, and we can do that. It's more of a matter of cost. I use this platform called Vercel a lot, which is really, really great for web previews. So we have this hooked up, for instance, with the other Farmhand games that are open source, because it's just all integrated nicely and kind of built for each other. But basically, whenever I make a change to Farmhand or Farmhand Shuffle, like I just push it to GitHub, and within a few minutes, there's a custom live preview branch that I could share with the world. And we could do that with Godot too, because it can export to web. The problem is that the Farmhand Match code base is closed source. Like I mentioned, it's not public, and to have the live preview environments connected between GitHub and Vercel for a non-public GitHub repo, you need to pay for Vercel, and I am not currently paying for Vercel. It's like $20 a month, and I don't want to do that yet. We may have to at some point, but that's not where we're at today. So we're kind of working on a shoestring budget here. Sort of like I mentioned before, I'm between jobs right now, so I want to really manage my expenses and not have any monthly subscriptions that aren't strictly necessary. So, we'll get there one step at a time. But yeah, these are the basics. It's coming along, slowly but surely, I think. I'm pretty happy with where things are. And the other thing that I want to work on is not directly related to Farmhand Match, but like I mentioned, I'm sort of owning the marketing side of things. And I don't make any, false claims that I love marketing. I really don't. In fact, I really hate it. But someone has to do it. And I'm the kind of person where I would rather invest an enormous amount of energy and time into automating away a much smaller task that I don't want to do, because that's just how I think about things. Because like I don't want to do tasks manually that I hate. I want to teach a computer to do it for me. And going along with the whole AI thing, we're at a place where like we can. I'm trying to see if I can open this. It's not working. We can have agents handle a lot of the work that we don't want to do. So that's what I want to look into. I've been been playing around with Google AI Studio. And this is cool. I haven't made anything significant with this yet. I made like a smaller little just exploratory game unrelated to Farmhand. But I'm going to see if I can use this to maybe prototype a sort of marketing agent, just to see what's possible with using these tools to kind of like take some of this work off my plate, or at least take off some of the self-discipline that I'm going to need to have to do marketing. Because like marketing in my mind means basically being very active in social media, which I hate. I am not a social media person. I don't have a personal Twitter. I deactivated my Facebook account years ago. I barely touch Instagram. I don't have a TikTok. I'm weird like that. I just don't like social media. It's not for me. But we are going to need to be active on social media to market this thing. That's how marketing works, short of paying a marketing firm, which, shoestring budget, we're not going to be able to do that. So I need to figure out a marketing solution that I can actually sustain and not burn myself out with. So I think rather than just doing all the marketing work myself, which I know I'm going to hate and eventually give up on, I'm looking to implement some sort of an AI agent to do a lot of that work for me. So at least I find the work interesting. I'll have to figure out the details for that. I don't have too much to share, but the basic idea is I want to see if I can prototype building such a marketing agent with AI Studio. But apparently this thing's only really good for like building prototypes. If you want to build something that's more production ready, you need a Vertex AI, which is another Google product, which is basically, it seems like it's the more enterprise version of Google AI Studio. So if AI Studio is for building out proof of concepts and prototypes, this is more for building out production grade stuff. And I haven't really touched this at all yet. I've just been sort of tinkering around with this stuff. But the point is that like rather than just brute force doing marketing poorly, I'm gonna see if I can scale my efforts, or at least keep my own interest doing this sort of thing, because I sort of know myself. I know what I'm going to be able to stick with and what I'm not. And I don't think I'm going to be able to stick with marketing if I'm just making tweets and TikToks and all these things on my own, because I just don't like doing that sort of thing. So we'll see where it goes. It's got to get done. I will get it done. I just have to figure out how that's what that's going to look like. But that is the big update for this week, which is to say, like, come along slowly. I'm pretty excited with where we're going, but it's still early days. So I'm probably going to call it a day for the update for now. I'll try and get back to it in about a week. But until then, thank you for watching. Bye.